So without further ado, this is something I've been really looking forward to, and he needs no other introduction other than he's got a good name. So Rick Sale, Branch 79, state email and chairman, and da-da-da-da-da. Rick Sale, it's all yours.
Good afternoon, everybody. So what is Constant Contact? It's a system that we use to send mass emails. So Constant Contact has a partner program where Sur State is the lead, and branches can sign up to be partners. And what that does is give a 40% discount to each branch that signs up. So what does this partner program provide? If for 0 to 500 members, and we all fit in that category, it's $12 a month. And for Email Plus, it's $27. So what's the difference between email and Email Plus? With the email, you get unlimited emails. You can send one email every minute if you want to. You get a gigabyte of file storage. That's for your attachments. But there's only one user now. For $27 a month, you get 2 gigabytes of storage, and you don't have to worry about filling that up. With on the state one at 2 gigabytes, we're only at 5% full. The advantage is, though, you get 10 users, and you can also have the RSVP function and the surveys function. You've all seen that with the emails that have gone out for this summit here, where we put in an RSVP, are you be able to come, etc. Very useful to have. With this Constant Contact, you can prepare an email on any day and state that you want it to go out on X date at Y time. You can also set it up that if you send out an email on X date, it will automatically be resent to the people who have not opened it. You set it up that day, you don't have to be near your computer at all. It'll automatically just send it out on that date and time that you stated. Emails can have both text and images. And one of the real nice things about Constant Contact is once you have a template set up, let's say you have a template and you go to your October luncheon invite, you say copy it to November, and there it is. You don't have to do too much more except change a date in it and resend it. And that's how most of the emails are that I send out for state, is how I do it. I just find the previous one, change the date, and send it off. You've all been getting reminders each morning at 7 a.m. Well, I set those up over a week ago. We had a meeting about what we wanted to do with that, how we wanted to format them. I set them up, and they automatically go out at 7 a.m. And at 7 a.m., my phone chirps up and says, you just sent an email. I said, good, it worked. So that's the real nice thing. I set them all up at one time, made the one for the 15th, copied it for the 16th, added some more information, copied it to the 17th, added some more information, copied it to the 18th, the 19th, and they just automatically go out at 7 o'clock. As I said, you can set it up for if people do not open an email, it automatically tells me here what time the rescheduled time is for the non-openers. It's a very useful feature of this because sometimes somebody gets an email, they don't see it that day because they don't open up their computer that day, and they come back the next day and there's 34 emails in front of it. They didn't see it, and then it'll automatically be sent to them, and then they see it. Another nice thing about Constant Contact is I prepare probably 95% of all the state emails. I can state who it's from, who it replies to, and you can have it reply. So if you hit a reply, it could go to somebody else. You never see my name at all on any of these emails because you set up who it's from, who to reply to. My name never appears. You can also have templates. For instance, this one that says holiday party is what we sent out for our Christmas holiday luncheon. So you can set up things like that that are not just a plain boring text. You can have images like this. You can make your own. They also have templates. These little gray images you see are where you can put images in, and where you see these lines, you can put text in. So you can have a bunch of templates set in, and then you just put your own images in there. So it's a very nice way of sending out an email to your people that looks a little bit more inviting to respond to than just a bunch of text. Also, when you send out an email, you get a lot of useful information. When I sent out the November happenings in 2021, for November 2021, I sent it out to 7,400 people. We've got 3791 openings, which is a 53%. We still had 3,200 that did not. So you get a lot of good information. Also, almost 70% open it on a computer and 30% open it up on a mobile device. Now, is that really useful? No, but it's an interesting thing to be able to see. You also can see information of who opened it on what date and what time. Okay. If you go to a respective person, because I'll get an email sometimes or a phone call that says, I never saw that. Well, it was sent to you on November 7th at 10:35. Okay. And I can also tell somebody, well, you opened it at 10:36. And the person will say to me, I did. But you get that type of information with this, and there's nothing extra you have to do. Once you send it, it automatically gives you this information by person, by email, etc. One of the real nice things about Constant Contact is you can have a person and assign them to multiple functions. So let's talk about a branch. You can have your 2021 Big Sur, Little Sur, all your people, and then 2022 group, you can assign those people to the 2022 group. You can have a 2021 BEC, you can have a 2022 BEC. And the nice thing about that is if you want to blast something out and you want it to go out to the 2021 BEC and the 2022 BEC, you select both of those and send out the email. Now, if somebody is on two lists and you send to both lists, they are not going to get two emails. They will only get one, but you can have these lists set up to easily manage who you send things to. On many of the emails you get from us, we have a button at the bottom that says agenda or the happenings or something. What we do is we upload that to Constant Contact. You can upload PDFs, JPEGs, what they call PNGs. Again, we have 2 gigabytes of storage space and we've only used 6% full, and we've been using Constant Contact for 3 years now. And we've got 518 images we brought in. So there is no way we're going to fill this 2 gigabytes of storage up. But that's how the way we manage attachments, it's at Constant Contact. So when you click on it, it's not trying to go back to Sur Inc., for instance, or to somebody's personal computer and pull that image. It's pulling it right out of Constant Contact. So to prepare an email, for instance, I talked about you copying existing, that's similar or equal to what you want. You update the subject line. That's the same subject that you see on a normal email. You'll update who it's coming from, that person's email. And as I said, you can have, when somebody replies, you can set up a different email. That's very handy to have, especially if you've got your secretary who's composing the email for the Big Sur. You can put the Big Sur's name, the Big Sur's email address, and reply to the secretary. So the Big Sur doesn't get all these emails. Another nice thing about Constant Contact is you can set up any font size you want, any color you want, a background, and all the bold, italic, underscore, just like you do in a regular word processing program. Now, when I want to attach, I've got a new email that I want to put an attachment to. I upload it to Constant Contact. I find it, and that then attaches to the button that I've set up, so that you can have multiple attachments on an email that's going out to your branch. It could be the newsletter, it could be anything you want. You can have multiples. They click on them, it will download them. When you're ready to send an email, you hit a button they call continue, and you select the people that you want to send it to. You can say send now, or you can select the date and time. You can also check the button of resend to non-openers and set up the date and time for that. And you go send it. Now what I want to do is do a live demonstration for you. So let me go back to that. So this is the email that I was demonstrating. We have a logo. I can change the logo size. I can change font size. I put in a dividing line here. I can change the color of this to be, say, green. So there's a lot of capabilities about this. One of the things I will do is, before I send it out, is I can do a preview of it. I can go check that the attachment's working correctly. Okay, I have to turn off everybody because I can't get to my X. Okay. And then, how do I turn everybody off so I can get to a certain button? Dean, Andy? You're muted.
And then in the upper right-hand corner, it should say view.
Okay, let's see, because I'm in share right now.
Oh yeah, you're in a problem with the share. You're right.
Yeah, so let me do the stop share and view, and do I go full screen?
You should be full screen. Let's see.
Okay, so let me go to the screen share again. Okay.
Can you see now?
I still got everybody covering me up. All right, I'll go it a different way.
View options. Yeah.
It's on his computer, Rick, that's causing a problem, not for us.
Right.
You know, I can see the X, but he can't.
All right, so where do I put the, oh, I don't want to put the X and close the Zoom meeting, right?
No, you don't want to do that.
Yeah. So how do I, well, I'll try.
You maybe want to minimize the window. The center upper right-hand corner between the X and the minus sign, go to the minimize tab.
All right, let me try that.
It's on your computer, Rick. That's the issue.
I know. So I'm trying to. We didn't try this before. There it is. Okay, so now I go to continue. And as I said, I wanted to send it to the big sirs and secretaries. So I'm going to choose the big sir and the secretary. And because I also have 22 people in big sirs and secretaries, I've chosen my people. I'm going to say send now. I'm not going to worry about a resend. And it's just got sent out. And
Got it.
okay, and we've already had one person open it. And I can watch that if I want to. Okay. So that's how you send out a constant contact email. It's very good for repeat things. If you spend the $27, it's very good for the RSVPs. You can also attach it to a bank account and or a credit card if you want people to pay for the luncheon or pay for whatever it is online. There is some fee for that. We've been using very successfully with State SIR. We do have our percent open is way better than the national average. But we still have a problem with people opening it. But I think that problem would exist whether you're using Constant Contact or any other thing. So that's basically the end of my presentation. Are there any questions that I can answer?
So Rick, you need to stop sharing so we can see people raise their hand, et cetera.
Okay, there it is.
There it is. First question we have is from Rick Kindle.
I have several, Rick. Great
Okay.
presentation. One question that comes up is guys like Mark Stewart says, okay, how many people from my region opened up the invite? How many guys do I need to call? I've tried to go through the export. It goes into an Excel spreadsheet, but I can't get that information out so I can send it to somebody.
Well, one of the things that when I import people in, I bring in, well, when we get the Form 65 at the beginning of the year, when I import that information in, I import area and region as a special field. So when you export, you can see that information should be exported and you should find area and region as one of the columns. And if you're good with Excel, you can set up a filter and be able to filter on an area or region to see what you've got. Okay.
So Rick, how about going back to the very beginning with the data? I wanted to check that I was unmuted. And go back to the very beginning on how you populate perhaps a SIR database of some sort, and then how you move that into Constant Contact. I know we've had some difficulties. Perhaps you can address how that all occurs from your workload.
Okay. I'm going to talk about it at a branch level. Okay. When a branch first wants to start constant contact, you can click on add contacts and upload from a file. That would most likely be your Excel file that you have presently to control your people. And that's how you would click on that. You would select then select drag the file or find it on your computer to bring over. And you would upload all your contacts to Constant Contact. Then what you could do then is, and what I've told other people who have branches, because you're not really massively bringing in people all the time, you can add let's say you get a new person, you just add it in manually, you put in their email address, that makes sure that they're not already in the system, and you go add in the balance of the information. If you have somebody that you want to get rid of, for instance, I get some emails about somebody who's passed away, you go to this, you click on them and action, and you delete them from the system. So it's a fairly easy system to manage. Again, when a branch wants to first start up, I help them get this going the very first time, lead them through it, rather than spinning your wheels and you're tearing your hair out if there's any left trying to get started.
But at some point, you have a master list of everybody. How do you get that?
It's from the master list comes from the Form 65 that are sent in from the branches. And for instance, I'll show you again. Contacts list. From the Form 65 last year, I got 7,313 people from Form 65 last year. Okay.
And those 65 was sent in by someone within the branch.
Correct. Correct. Now, if a branch, say, has 150 members and 10 people do not have an email address, I can only import the 140 because it uses the email address as the key. So when these emails that are going out and we send them to all members, I send them to the 2021 members. And because I'm getting the Form 20s for next year, I've imported those people as the 2022 members. So that's how I send this out to the specific set of people.
So there, according to this, you have 9,773 branch members in the database, but we have over 10,000 people who are members. What happened to the others?
Okay. For all members who do not have an email address, I cannot bring them into Constant Contact.
Okay.
And 10% of the members in a branch do not have an email address.
Okay.
How does the branch verify their list is on the Constant Contacts?
The best way, if they want to, they would send me an email and I would send them the list. I would export their branch. And let me show you.
So we can't do that ourselves.
No. For instance, hold on. Here's everybody for branch 79. Okay. And I could export that and send it to the big serve for branch 79. I chose 79 because that happens to be the branch I'm in. But I can do that for any branch. I can branch. And here's everybody for branch 1. Okay.
Can you go through the maneuver on how you put that to a spreadsheet?
Okay.
But if we have our own spreadsheet, do we have to get it from you?
No, because you supply it to me and then I upload it. So if you've got yours, you keep that, you're keeping that current every month. Okay.
But can't I get into Constant Contact and create my own distribution list using my file of data?
If you've set up your own branch as a partner, then you bring in your list to your account and run it completely independent of state.
Isn't that what you're suggesting, that we all become a
Yes.
partner?
It depends on the number of people in your branch. If you only have 30 or 40 people in a small branch, you don't need to spend the money on it. But if you're in the 130 to the 200, 300 people, this is where Constant Contact is very good because you don't have to set up multiple emails. You can send an email out, hit send, it has an RSVP, it has the button there to pay for your lunch. You manage it all right there. But go ahead.
Okay, I'm at branch 37 in Auburn, so I'm with you.
Okay.
But I've got all that stuff. I could do it.
I think that the key thing that I learned today is that every branch has their own Constant Contact and state has their own Constant Contact, and they are different. And what we need to do if we want to be included on a state distribution list, we need to be sure in the branch to give Rick Form 65 constantly on time so that he can update his version of Constant Contact.
Correct.
What's nice about this is that we each own our own Constant Contact, and it's only $12 a month because of the partner program Rick has set up at the state level.
Correct.
Hell of a deal. Hell of a deal.
So I can export this and I can specify what I want to export, and I hit export. And I can download it to a CSV file. I think you'll see this come up on the screen.
Yes.
And there's the download for branch 1. And Rick Kendall, you were talking about branch and area. We have set up branch and area. So when you export something and you set up what we call a filter, you can say which area or which region, and you can select on that and see things.
Okay. Thank you.
Rick, this is Jay Gordon. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so my question is, our membership chairman maintains a spreadsheet with, I don't know, 125 members in branch 19.
Right.
And we've determined that there are, pick a number, 22 of them that we are classifying as inactive. And what that means is they've told us they don't want to be contacted, they don't want to come to luncheons, they want to continue to be a member. If I downloaded my membership spreadsheet to you, it would include all of those people that are in column P, I don't know, that we've termed to be inactive. How can I avoid that?
Well, okay, so what you would do, what do you report for your Form 28? Do you report those inactive people?
Yeah, for total members, yes.
Okay, so there's one of two ways you can go. You can take a copy of your spreadsheet, rename it Form 6, branch, what, 19 are you in?
Yes.
Branch 19, Form 65, 2022. You sort it and delete out the inactive people, and then send it to me.
Got it.
Then I only can work with what you sent to me.
And then I know I'm killing you with what ifs, but
Yep.
2 months, 60 days later, half of those inactive people say, okay, I think we're safe. I'm going to start coming. I want to be included in communications. Do I have to download my membership file again with a new list and send that to you instead?
Normally, we only update this one time because if I have to take all of 113 active branches, there's a lot of work with that. But
Yeah.
if you contact me and say, hey, we've got now 10 new members, okay, then I will take care of it so
Okay.
that they can start getting their information. Okay?
All right. But,
So
but
yeah.
to your point, you're the only one that can edit that. I can't edit it. Nobody else can edit it, right?
Well, okay, we have in general, yes, but on, let's see.
Rick, you have to distinguish between state and branch.
I understand, and I'm doing that right now. Okay. On the state system, we can have 10 people. If you spend the $27, you can have 10 people. All these people can fully manage the system.
Got it.
They can import, they can manage just like that. If you have your branch one that has 10 users, each one of those 10 users can do everything they want with that. They can add people, they can delete people, they can send emails, prepare emails, etc. Okay.
Rick, I think the point that he was asking is, can he access your system from his branch and edit your files?
I could set them up, but we can only have 10 people. So right now I'd have to make some people inactive, and then I could let him do that. But I have to be real careful, because if I let one person in from a branch, he can manually manipulate the entire database. So we have to be real careful on that.
So just from a information management perspective, I think the answer is no. You would prefer not to have individual branches edit your data.
Right. Just send it to me and I'll take care of it.
So thank you. I appreciate that. What I got out of that was that if I set up my own constant contact account, I could put 10 of the people from our branch on a user list. And
Yes.
so the member chairman and the activity chairman and the attendance chairman, et cetera, they could be able to edit, but the other members of the branch could not.
Correct.
Got it. Thank
Yep.
you.
Andy, to break in, we've got two people with their hands up and we've got a lot of questions and time is flying. So
Yes.
if we could ask these people to be very quick, it would be Manuel Dominguez first.
Yeah,
Manuel?
so the issues we're having is specifically with Gmail and Comcast, that they're getting sent to their spam folders. I reached out to Constant Contact multiple times and they say, well, go to the email provider, put in the email from addresses, but we have probably 24 addresses that they can come from. So that's not something we're going to have our members do. We haven't found any solution to it recently. We still have that issue.
And I've been working with Constant. I've been working with Constant Contact trying to get around that too. And they have some things that I've tried and I'm still working with them on that. So it doesn't go to their promotions. That's really what happens at Gmail. It goes to promotion. So I'm working.
Right, or it goes to spam for Comcast. Yeah.
Okay, it's Lee Lamp is next. I'm just keeping the thing rolling to get moving.
Understand, Eric. Thank you. The previous person asked one of the questions I had, and thank you for that. It's understanding what goes to spam and what doesn't. With the other question is you talked about uploading the data via an Excel file. I know it's a CDS file. Is there a particular format that has to be updated or uploaded? And is that template built within the Constant Contact program? And secondly, do they have a limit on whether it comes from a particular version of Microsoft Excel? I've operated in some platforms that will not accept the newest Excel, the XLSX file. they will only accept an XLS file. And the reason I ask that is sometimes if you're working in Google Docs, you can only convert to the newest version of Excel.
There is no limit to the type of Excel because I bring in XLSX. And what happens if you bring something in and it can't match your heading to one of theirs, you can say, look, for instance, I bring in a phone number and it Constant Contact's either looking for a home or a cell phone. So I say, if you see this phone number, I change it and say, call that the home phone, and I change it manually and align the columns to their titles. So it's not a hard process, but for you on a branch, if you sign up, you're only really importing one time.
Okay.
The rest of the time,
And
you're
then-
only adding them, deleting them a few members at a time.
So the last question is really, a fundamental financial one is if you sign up to partner with Constant Contact through SIR, is there a length of a contract, or can it be month to month?
Right now, they charge you month to month. And some branches have asked me, well, can we just do this on a yearly basis? And I tell them, give Constant Contact a call and they can change it so the billing is one time a year. And if you're on month to month and you want to stop after 3 months, you just tell them stop and you stop.
Great, thank you.
Okay, next question that's been written. It was actually from you, Lee. Is this a web-based application for a PC and an app for a tablet device?
You can operate it. It's a web-based thing, so you can operate it from your phone. As long as you can get onto the internet, you can use Constant Contact.
Thank you.
Rick, my hand keeps coming off, so I had my hand up for a while.
Yes.
But I've got a question on on verification. When I put a new email in there and it said it needs to be verified, and I click on it and it's blank and I can't verify it. Understand what's going on.
Okay, when I'm bringing in people in the very first time, you say, I have implied permission to use this email. But when you want to send an email out under a person's name and they have never sent one, Constant Contact will send an email to that person asking it to verify. And that's just to make sure that it's okay to send an email from that person.
Yeah, you sent me an email with, we've been going back and forth on the spam thing. And you said you created an email for me online, which that's what I put in. Did you get the message that you need to verify that?
I'll have to look. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll look to see, and maybe again, it's one of the things I missed. So I will do a search for verify but the only time that it has to be verified is if you want to send an email using my email address.
But it's not yours, it's the one you created for our branch.
Okay, we'll take a look at that.
Okay.
I'll give you a call.
Just
Okay.
a little tip for other people. There's a lot of videos. So when you try to do this, there's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of really good videos out there on their website. If you just Google it in with your question and put Constant Contact, you can pull up a lot of videos and they're very helpful.
Okay, thank you. Just moving along. There were two questions about spam that have been answered. Any branch that gets Constant Contact gets the discount under the state pricing. I think Rick's handled that. Roy Hodgkinson says, so we're missing at least 4,000 member emails. I think we have to remember, Roy, not every branch sends in the form because they do not want to have their members email somewhere else. I don't think there's any danger. Would you like to comment on that, Rick?
There is one branch that sent me a Form 65 with the emails all blank. They said, here's our Form 65, but we are not providing you the email addresses. And that's only one branch. My problem is I just don't get some Form 65 from some branches.
Yeah,
that's the big thing.
Yeah, so if they send the Form 65 in, that's the audience we can send the mails to.
Yep.
Okay, moving on.
Rick, just a quick point, if we want to make sure every member gets it, then we need to encourage the big sirs or whoever in the branch to forward that on to all their members, because a good part of them aren't receiving it in the first place. So if we have all the big sirs address off the Form 20, they can forward it on to their membership, correct? Like this invite?
Yes. We have to be careful though, because if we're sending it to all members, they're going to be getting that twice then.
Well, some are,
Then-
but some aren't getting it in the first place. Because conceivably 3,000 aren't getting it if we have 4,000 that aren't.
Right.
You know, I think that there's the percentage of people have emails is a lot more than 50 or 60%.
Right.
So Dean, perhaps you can, well, wait, Chris also, but Dean, your question?
No, a statement about the Form 65s, which are supposed to be sent in early in the year, every year, based upon your roster. It's actually an extract from your roster is what the Form 65 is. And that's what is the basis for most of our state constant contact emails.
I think that may be an issue that we can address in a different way. Chris?
Yes.
Chris?
Yeah, I also noticed that Form 20 has not been completed probably by no more than or less than half of the branches. And I would think that presents a problem for you knowing who the officers are for 2022. And because some of your emails should be targeted, I assume, to just branch officers.
So when I called it my nastygram, when I sent out the email about who I got Form 20s and from and did not, I got a flood of Form 20s in. And I'm processing them right now, and then I'll be sending out another thing probably to the RDs of who I've received them from and have it from right after I get done processing. I probably have about 10 to 15 to process.
Rick, there's a question, a point I wanted to make. If somebody has ever unsubscribed, let's say they unsubscribed last year and then they become Little Sir, they are not getting anything at all, right?
Okay, what I try to do, if a general member unsubscribes, I don't care about it. But then what I do is I will take the 2021 officers, the 2022 officers, and download it and see who has unsubscribed. And then I will send an email to them saying, you're an officer of your respective branch and we need you to resubscribe. Please click on this button to resubscribe.
Great.
So I'm only doing that for the officers.
So we're getting into some of the details of communication and feedback, and that perhaps is in a different section, but let's finish with Roy.
Just wanted to comment that every Form 65 should be submitted because it at least has to have the same information as the Form 20. There's nothing
Yes.
more on there, that's okay, but we get a Form 65 with the officer name.
But we get the 20 in August and the 65 in the first quarter of the next year.
So let me end that here and pass it back to Rick. Thank you, Rick Sale, very much.